afternoon, or evening, wherever I am coming to you at. Welcome to episode 2 of the Bear Digest with your host, Riley Hankener. I'm so excited to get back into episode 2. It is a beautiful Monday, November 17th. It is currently 11:30 a.m. when I am recording this. I hope to go for about 30 minutes today, and I hope even more, to be truthful with you. Last week I said I was going to go for 30 minutes. I went for about 45, but that's okay. I had a lot to get off my chest, a lot to preview, and a lot to summarize since it was my very first episode ever. And so today, I'm glad to be able to get more in-depth on things. But yeah, 30 minutes, maybe talk about 15 minutes about basketball and 15 minutes about football. And again, I know I said that last time, but this time I truly think I'm going to be coming at you with what I say. All right, let's get right into it. I'm going to talk about what I think is on the minds of most Baylor fans right now, and that is the state of our football program. Obviously, we welcome in the Utah Utes this past Saturday. It was a night game on Fox. And it did not go well. We lost 55-28. We got absolutely dominated in the fourth quarter of that game. And, I was sitting on the couch at about 3 p.m. when I decided to go to that game. I'm not one to miss football games, especially when I can help it. Like, I'm in town and I'd like to go see my team play a potential college football playoff team at a night game on Fox. And even I was like not very excited to go. And I realized when I was deciding whether or not I wanted to go that I hadn't gotten a ticket yet. And so I was like, oh, no, maybe I won't be able to get a student ticket. No, they were still very much available. And so, I'm sitting here and I'm like, where are we at in the program that I am able to decide 3 hours before kickoff that I can go and see us play a ranked team, a team competing for the college football playoffs at night at McLean Stadium? And I know that says stuff about me as well, but I feel like I'm a very good fan. And so as a program, where are we at that I'm able to get that ticket right before? I just, that's not a good look on our program, and it's not a good look on Dave Aranda. And so when talking about the game, before I talk about any specific stat or number or completion percentage or anything, I want to talk about just what I saw on the field at McLean Stadium. And the first thing I saw was that the fans actually did a pretty good job. I know I was just talking about how I was able to get a student ticket the day of, but I was impressed by the fan base. You got a 5-4 team that had sky-high expectations preseason, but I also can get where the fans were at. We just beat a UCF team that went on to beat Houston. I'm not going to harp on UCF like it was a good win or anything, but we beat them, and then they beat a ranked team. And then we had our bye week, and so we had a lot of hype up going to this game. It was a whiteout, which I have my own opinions about us trying to do a whiteout, but I was overall impressed by the fans. There was the shirtless section that was quite something. Me and my friends were sitting about 15 rows ahead of where it started, and then we got engulfed pretty quick. I left. It's not my thing, but I think it's a great thing that the fans came together because, we obviously don't have a lot to cheer for at this point. But, yeah, the first thing I saw were that the fans were pretty good. I think the fans willed us to that touchdown at the end of the first half with Josh Cameron. I mean, obviously that guy is awesome, and he did it himself, but, there was some sort of momentum that felt like it was being created from that shirtless section. So good on those fans. What else did I see? Explosive plays out of Utah. Someone I was sitting with about after their what it felt like third or fourth 50-plus yard touchdown play was like, do we have safeties out there? And I know it's kind of a funny question, and he said it in a funny way, but I was like, where are our safeties? What are they doing? The angles that were being taken were really bad. And, I'm not going to really harp on players specifically by name because I feel like, that's kind of a lost cause because I feel like you could go down the line and do that at this point with our defense. So not by name, but, man, the explosive plays were absolutely killer. It would feel like we would drive all the way down the field and score or get a field goal and, start to feel good about the direction of the game, and they'd almost immediately just absolutely shred us down the field. And so that was just absolutely awful, was the defense against big plays. And I went on the podcast last week, and first of all, I'm sorry if any of you took Baylor by the points after I said to, because that was an absolutely awful bet as it turned out. But I went on the podcast last week and said we haven't played a running quarterback yet. We've played quarterbacks that run and quarterbacks whose counter is run, but we haven't played a guy like Devon Dampier who his first thing he wants to do is run. And so I thought we would be more geared up. I thought we would spy more, and it felt like we did. I think we got a stop or a quick 3-and-out or 6-and-out the first two possessions, and I saw Keaton Thomas back up into that spy look, and we were really containing Dampier's run really well, and then it just felt like we stopped, which was really confusing. I don't really get why we stopped just spying when it was working already. It felt like we kind of got behind the sticks. They scored a touchdown and we didn't score back, and we almost just went into panic mode and we're trying to just stack the line of scrimmage when, like, I don't know. I would have liked us to spy, play up on the corners, and make them beat us deep with the pass. But that is not what we decided to do. Because, and this is a ridiculous stat, but they didn't complete a pass to a wide receiver until about 5 minutes left to go in the game, which is absolutely unbelievable in my opinion, to even fathom that they could go that long without completing a pass to a receiver in a game in which they are dominating the scoreboard. And so at what point do we look at that? I know that our coaches aren't oblivious to stats like that, so at what point are we going to be like, hey, like, let's make their receivers make some plays, man? And so, yeah, I'll get a little bit more into the stats now. That's just what I saw. They had 103 yards passing. That's not a lot at all, and that's not a lot out of a team, again, dominating the scoreboard, but 380 running yards. Freshman quarterback Bird Ficklin came in for injured Devon Dampier, and he carried the ball 6 times for 166 yards, and that is an average of 27 and change yards per rush. That's awful. There's no other way to put that. 2 touchdowns. He had a 74-yard run and a 67-yard run. And, again, unacceptable. Wayshawn Parker for them, 130 rushing yards, a touchdown, with a 64-yard running touchdown. The big plays were absolutely terrible. And receiving, Ryan Davis is their only receiver who caught a football, 1 reception for 9 yards. I don't know. J.J. Buchanan and Dallin Bentley each had 3 receptions, but I believe those are tight ends. So at what point do we make their receivers beat us? And so, I don't know. On Baylor's side of the football, Sawyer Robertson, I don't think he played that well. I think he missed a lot of balls early. He missed a ball to Hawkins on a deep go route. He missed a couple balls to Trigg. 29 for 58. He threw the ball a lot. 430 yards is a lot, but that feels empty, and it feels like playing catch-up ball. 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. One of the interceptions was very bad on a slant route that the back saw the entire time. But Sawyer did have good moments in the game. Bryson had a lot of good moments in the game, especially early. I know I talked on the pod last week about how Dave Aranda said this is the best he has looked, and through the first 2 carries, it did look like the best he had looked. He ripped off his first run for, I don't even remember, 12 or so yards, and his second run for 8. It felt like he had 17 to 20 yards in his first 2 carries, but then it felt like we just, shut him down. I don't really know. I guess we start to play desperation ball when we're behind, but, it felt like Bryson was playing really well. He was averaging 7 yards a carry, which is a lot more than it's felt like he's averaged this year, yet we still only choose to run the ball with him 14 times and throw the ball with Sawyer 58 times. That just feels wrong in my opinion. And so I have to give Bryson his props. I think he played a great game. I think he was running well, and I think we were run blocking for him well. I just questioned the play calling of only giving him the ball 14 times. As far as our receiving, Josh Cameron did a very good job. He's awesome. I hope he plays his way into draft boards because he deserves to get a look on Sunday. He is awesome. 13 receptions, 165 yards, 2 touchdowns, a couple of awesome grabs. They couldn't guard him. We fed him as much as we could, and that was one of the bright spots in our offense. Ashton Hawkins had a good game. It looked like he was into it. He was making good moves, 7 receptions for 119 yards. Cole Wilson did good. He had a great touchdown snag. There was obviously that altercation in the end zone with Ashton Hawkins, Cole Wilson, and the Utah safety, but we don't really have to get into that very much. Michael Trigg did not have a good game per his standards. 3 receptions for 42 yards. He had a couple of passes from Sawyer that felt like they weren't great passes, but felt like ones that Michael Trigg, the Michael Trigg that we know and have seen, could bring in. Sometimes it does feel like he gets in love with making the one-hand catch when 2 hands would work just fine, or maybe more of a layout jump from him would work better. And so, yeah, that's the offense. Defense, we had 2 sacks, both by Amarian Winston. I think, great job by him. He was getting to him pretty well. TFLs, Keaton Thomas had 2. Micah Gifford, cornerback, made a couple of good plays. He had a blocked kick or extra point late in the game that didn't matter at that point, but it just shows that he's still fighting. We did not pick them off. Josh Cameron had a couple of good punt returns, one that went for 20 yards. Connor Hawkins had an okay game. He missed one kick that wasn't very good, but he made 2. Palmer Williams is an awesome punter. Can't wait to see him punt on Sundays. But, yeah, that'll about finish it up for the Utah-Baylor game. I don't have much thoughts. Our defense was terrible. Our offense was good in stretches but very inconsistent. And it feels like, at the state of the Baylor program right now, we need our offense to have an unbelievable perfect game for us to win a game like that, and they didn't. So put that on who you want to put it on. I'm going to put it on the defense, but mostly the defensive coaching. Looking forward to this week. We play Arizona this Saturday at noon Central Time on TNT. Very odd time slot on a very odd channel, but at this point, I guess I'd take anything over watching ESPN+. Arizona Wildcats are 7-3, but they are 4-3 in the Big 12. I don't think Arizona's a good team, but I don't think we're going to beat them. At this point, our season is somewhat of falling apart. Noah Fafita is their quarterback. He puts up a lot of numbers. I don't think he's all that great, but he does put up numbers, and I feel like our defense can make anyone look great at this point, so I don't think that'll change for him. The spread sits at Arizona minus 6.5. I'm not going to give you what I think because I don't know what I think. Maybe I'll give you that on my next episode on Thursday. But as of right now, I don't know where I'm at right now with that game in Tucson, Arizona. Shouldn't be too hot or too cold, which is good. Arizona coming off a win at Cincinnati, which I think is very important to remember that we got 20-balled by Cincinnati, and so common opponent that Arizona beat, and we lost to by 3 scores. Just a summary of the situation with Baylor Athletic Mack Rhodes right now. I know that is a very big story, a very big thing to track right now going on. Mack Rhodes is on a leave of absence about an investigation going on after he was previously already being investigated about an incident with player Michael Trigg and an assistant coach on the sideline of the Arizona State football game. And so now this is a second investigation going on, and he has stepped away from the program right now. He hasn't officially left the job, or we haven't officially exhausted him from the job. But from what I understand, that is something to expect to be coming very soon. And first, I just want to say that my thoughts and prayers are with Mack Rhodes and his family at this time. This is obviously a big transitional period for them, and they are working through a very tough thing right now. And so I guess remember that Mack Rhodes is a husband in this situation. He's a father, and just to remember to keep his family in your prayers as they go through a time like this. And so with that, I am not going to do any sort of speculation on what happened. I'm going to say what I have been told happened. It is a affair in his marriage, not with someone affiliated with Baylor. And so that is what I understand to have happened, and I'm not going to do any further speculation on that. And so I'm going to just say what I think is going to happen next. I think we are going to resolve this very soon. He will not return as athletic director, And I think this is going to be very quiet on our end. I think that we will kind of just let him go, exhaust him of his duty, or he will quit. I don't know, within the next 2 or 3 weeks, hopefully by the end of the football season, so that we can then hire a new athletic director as soon as possible. We are likely at a big turnover point, as like I said I didn't say this last week because we didn't know this at this point, but I have said this throughout the week, that the potential firing of Mack Rhodes makes the firing of Dave Aranda very complicated. It still does, but if we can get a new athletic director in soon that is able to help us facilitate that decision, that is best. And so I cannot envision Mack Rhodes being back with the program next year from what I've heard. And I also cannot envision Dave Aranda being back with the program next year. I'll throw out the couple of names that I've heard that are maybe potential athletic directors. I understand Jeremiah Dickey from Boise State is what I've been told is a home run hire. I honestly haven't done my due diligence in doing my research on any of these guys just yet. I hope to have that for you better on Thursday. Jared Mosley at North Texas and Ren Baker at West Virginia. They are all considered strong fits. This is a great place to come for a potential athletic director. I know that we might be down on the program right now, but we have history in football. We have history in basketball. We have history in a bunch of sports down to acrobatics and tumbling that we dominate. Women's basketball. I mean, we have great facilities. We have new facilities. We have one of the newest football stadiums. We have one of the very newest basketball arenas. ADs will want to come here. So that is not something I would worry about. We are going to get someone that not only wants to be with us, but we want to be with us, and someone that we feel is a good candidate. My earliest prediction, and this is just me throwing something out, my earliest prediction is that we snag Jared Mosley of North Texas, and he brings his coach Eric Morris with him. I think that would be great. I think that keeping Dave Aranda is not a good idea, and so look out for us to hire a athletic director that has a head coach that is already being successful. And so I think of the Boise State coach, but I also think of the North Texas coach that is an in-state coach that is really transforming a program. I know they've got a freshman quarterback that's playing really well. And so that is my earliest prediction. Maybe it's more wishful thinking than it is an actual prediction, but I think that would be a great fit for us. Let's talk about basketball. Let's talk about some more happy stuff. How about that? Are we okay with that? The Bears defeated the Tarleton State Texans 94-81 at home on Friday. It was a fun late game. 8 p.m. games start late. They end even later, but it was very fun. This is a game in which, again, it felt like the Bears controlled the entire time, and it was a game that was just so much less stress-inducing than a game would have been last year. Last year, if it felt like we were, in under 10 score game with a team like Tarleton State, I feel like I would have been, very upset with the team, kind of like wondering what's going on. But again, it just feels like we're more in control. It took a 42-point output from Dior Johnson for them to keep in the game like that. And if you aren't familiar with Dior Johnson, he was a highly regarded recruit out of high school, went to a bunch of different high schools, has been to a bunch of different colleges. From what I understand, quite the locker room cancer, but man, he can score the dang basketball. It was ethical, 17 of 24, only shot 7 free throws and a 42-point output. It was kind of awesome to watch. Just as long as we won the game, I didn't mind seeing someone put up 42 points. It's really impressive. His mid-range game was really nice. He was good, but enough about them. Let's talk about us. I'll go down the line again. Obi Agbim, 14 points, 5 assists, only 1 turnover. That's great. That's great. He's playing the point guard role exactly how we want him to. Shot the ball a bit better this game. 3 of 6 from 3, 5 of 8 from the field. He had a great block on a fast break where it looked like their guard had just an out layup, and Obi got up and glassed him, and it was shocking. I didn't know he had the ups like that, but very impressive. Cameron Carr, my goodness, that kid is awesome. He didn't have quite the second half after having a really good first half, but yeah, he played great. He did have one stretch later in the second half where I don't remember exactly what happened, but it felt like a bad foul. and then a bad shot that then got him benched. But overall, he played great. His shot is so good. Again, there's just something about the way he shoots it that makes you feel good. It's like one of my friends said. He called it like a high school jumper, and yeah, it feels like that. Again, the shots maybe aren't always good, but man, they're going in. I feel so good about him. He had an absolutely monstrous dunk that earned him Sports Center top 10, the number 4 spot. I didn't look at the rest of it, but I highly doubt there were 3 plays better than that night. That is the second best dunk I have seen at Foster Pavilion, only behind Yves Missy's dunk over KJ Adams when we played Kansas. But that one's going to be hard to beat ever. But yeah, absolutely awesome game from Cameron Carr. Dan Skillings played all right. Dan Skillings was very good on the glass. He was our leading rebounder, which is very good. He did have 5 turnovers. Not something I'm super worried about, but just something to watch for the future. Michael Ratai did not play all that well, but he played a lot of minutes and was solid out there. He does a really good job of staying out of foul trouble as a center. He played 36 minutes. That is all but 4 minutes of the game, and only finished with 2 personal fouls. 2 of 5 from the field, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, 1 block. 4 of those rebounds, 3 were offensive rebounds. Put his name everywhere in the game. Again, he hasn't been quite what we thought he'd be, but I still think he's been super solid. I really hope to get Juslin Bodo back soon. From what I understand still, it's either soon or not at all this season, so that Michael Ratai can more fit into that power forward role that we brought him here to be. Off the bench, Caden Powell, 0 points, 0 field goals, 1 rebound, 3 turnovers in 8 minutes with 3 personal fouls. Not a good game from Caden Powell. I guess he's going to turn into a big game merchant where he only likes to play good in the big games, which that's better than the opposite. I thought he would be the opposite due to his lack of crazy athleticism. But, I mean, at this point, if he's only going to show up against good teams, that's fine by me. And so I'm going to give him a pass on this game just because he played so well against Washington, and we'll see how he does against Creighton. Isaac Williams played a great game. He didn't start off great, and what I'm seeing out of him is he's getting trapped really easily off of pick and roll. So he'll take a pick and roll, and they'll jump it. He doesn't do a very good job of controlling that. He often gets caught and has to make a tough pass. That is something that good teams will take advantage of. And so I talked about Isaac Williams' turnover concerns. We just haven't seen them yet. He did have a couple of plays where someone got a turnover as a result of him not cutting to the ball effectively, or there was a 5-second inbound play where he couldn't get open. But I will abstain him from that because he played great. 16 points on 6 of 8 shooting, 1 for 1 from 3. He hit his free throws. He had 5 assists. He had a steal. He had a block. He played great defense. He was guarding Dior Johnson for a lot of the second half, and so I guess it looked like he was playing good defense and Dior Johnson was making tough shots. And so, again, I'm going to give him a pass on letting up that many points because that was an absolutely incredible output by that player. J.J. White hit 2 threes. I was really excited to see that out of him. I still think that he's going to be important. Got 2 rebounds. He seemed effective in the 9 minutes. I didn't see as many defensive letdowns, and so again, I hope that he can be a part of the team going forward. I think that would be very important. And so, looking forward, we don't have a game this week. We have a game a week from today against Creighton, who is currently ranked number 23, but the new AP Top 25 poll actually comes out in 4 minutes, and so we're going to see where Creighton's at. That'll be 1 p.m. on True TV. Again, in that Players Era tournament, we're going to learn a lot about our team. Ranked Creighton a week from today, and then ranked St. John's the next day. And St. John's is a team that's going to compete. I'm going to give more preview to the game on this Thursday's podcast. But yeah, I'm excited about the basketball team. I'm really excited. I think that Baylor fans really need something right now to be excited about, and I think that this can be it. I think that we can really rally on our basketball team, and that's what we've done in the past. It's maybe at a smaller scale, but years ago when our football team maybe wasn't doing as well, or maybe when Mack Rhodes left the program, we could lean on that we were going to be a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament for basketball. And so maybe not that this year, but I'm really excited about our team. Obviously, the AP poll comes out in 3 minutes. I hope we're in it. I think we were 32 last week. We were the 7th team left off the list in terms of voting. When you watch this team play, I see no reason why it shouldn't be a ranked team. But at the same time, that doesn't change anything. There's a lot of basketball left to be played. It's going to be a very different looking team, system, everything by the end of Big 12 play. And so whether or not there is a number next to us on the scoreboard does not mean a single thing to me. Because I know if we start playing well, we are going to get that national recognition because we are touted as a very, very high level basketball team. And so, yeah, we've got a gauntlet ahead of us. We've got the Players Era tournament, and then we've got a Big 12 schedule that you can't make an easy Big 12 schedule. You can't have a favorable one. You're going to run into really good teams no matter what. Big 12 teams have continued to look really good. Texas Tech played a game against Illinois that they would have won at home. They almost won on the road. Houston beat a good Auburn team. Iowa State, I think they beat Mississippi State by a bunch. Not that Mississippi State's going to have a great team, but they beat them by a bunch. Kansas, I know there's stuff going on with Darren Peterson right now. That is something to absolutely monitor. BYU, I mean, they were – again, I'm going to have a tough time saying good things about BYU after what they did to us in the offseason. But, man, they took a UConn team to the very end, and they were without – two of their starters, Keba Keita, and the other guy whose name evades me right now, who is currently facing charges of a DUI. And so, something to look at. And so I'm going to look at our full season stats right now. Cameron Carr averaging 23 points per game. That is insane. 4 rebounds. He's shooting 67.6% from the field, 52.9% from 3. That's awesome. Tunde Yesufu, I realized I forgot to talk about him in my post game about Tarleton State a couple minutes ago. He's poured in 16 points per game. I still have my doubts about Tunde right now. He did look out of control for a lot of the Tarleton State game, and that earned him a spot on the bench at the end. And so we will see on him. Again, I have full confidence in Scott Drew's ability to coach someone over the course of a season. Also, Mark Tunde, 20% from 3, but 85% from the free throw line. So he's getting those in. Dan Skillings, 13 points. He's leading us in rebounds with 6 rebounds a game, 3 assists, 1 steal. He's doing it from everywhere. Obi Agbim, 10 points per game. Isaac Williams, 10 points per game. That's 5 guys averaging double-digit points per game. That's just great to see. I'm really excited to see where this team ends up going next when we play in the Players Era tournament. And so I will preview those games a little bit more in depth on Thursday. And so here's what I'm thinking with the schedule overall as we wrap up here. I'm thinking I will do an episode on Monday to talk about what happened over the weekend with, the basketball and the football team, who usually will play on Saturday. Preview, we will usually have, especially when we get into Big 12 play, we will usually have a basketball game either on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. So on Monday's episode, I will preview that, and I will slightly preview the weekend football game as I did today with the Arizona game. And then I will do another episode on Thursday where we talked about what happened in that basketball game during the week, and we preview the weekend for Baylor Athletics. And so I know basketball is not on a straight schedule right now, and so that's going to be a little shaky, but Thursday, I will do a more in-depth preview on the Arizona game for football and a more in-depth preview on the Players Era tournament for basketball. And then we're going to see how this works, but I'm thinking I'm going to do something called Friday Fast Break on Fridays. And so that'll be non-Baylor stuff. I do watch other sports, even though Baylor is my favorite team. And so I'm going to talk, it'll be much shorter, fast break style, 15 minutes, rapid fire stuff about other sports. And so, yeah, that's what you can expect out of me going forward is a Monday and Thursday episode on Baylor sports from the Bear Digest, and then a fun Friday fast break. And so I think that is all for today. Austin Gooseby, 5-star Austin basketball will announce his commitment today at 3 Eastern. So I'm talking to you now. This video won't be out until after he has committed. Obviously, I hope to get. Sorry, I said 5-star. He's a 4-star. I hope to get him, but from what I understand, he will be a Texas Longhorn. His brother, I think, plays on the football team, and I've heard that they are really trying to empty the bank for him. So if we don't get him, don't panic. I understand we have other plans for a different freshman that I will talk about in the future. And so, okay, that will wrap it up for this week's, or sorry, not this week because there will be multiple this week. Today's episode of the Bear Digest. Leave your questions in the comments. I got a couple questions from last video. I will do that, all of them, on Thursday's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please share with your friends. I've been very excited to see all these shares that I have gotten on Sikkim 365 and around with friends and family and people just sharing it. This is a very fun thing that I'm getting to do, but I also hope it is a good thing for other people that are learning more about Baylor athletics. And so thank you so much. Have a very blessed rest of your day, and Sikkim Bears.